Now, Jesus said that he was the way, the truth, and the light, right? And in order to be saved, you had to go through him. And Jesus preached the truth, right? And it threatened the institution. And so, if you ask what got Jesus killed, why did the Pharisees want Jesus dead? Because Jesus threatened their power. He spoke the truth. And he had a following. He had an audience. And it threatened their power. And the institution was controlled by wealthy people, and it was a lot like it was today, right? It was a lot like it was today. There was idolatry, there were false gods, there were false idols, there was entertainment. Right? Things are not that much different today than they were back in Jesus' time. The only thing that's really changed in 2,000-3,000 years the language has changed, but the technology has changed, but that's about it. As far as the human, we are not very different than that time. If you read papyri from that time, you realize and you get a picture through writing, through literature, of the struggles of ancient people back then. And you ask, why does the institution denounce religion? Why does it denounce belief systems? The simple question, or the simple answer to that question, is because it threatens the power of the state, right? If you look at communism, if you look at communist countries, the leaders are sort of worshipped like gods. And, that's how it was back then. That's how it was back in ancient times. Leaders wanted to be worshipped like gods, and they wanted the people. Here comes this guy, from Galilee, who came from a small family, and nobody really knew who he was. And this guy came in, he traveled and started preaching, and he gained a following, and he spoke the truth when there was very little truth. and it threatened their power, right? And so, you know, this is the thing, is Jesus, when he was being crucified, when he was being put on the cross, he asked the Father to forgive these people, right? For they know not what they do. That's one of the last things Jesus said. That really was a revolutionary idea. And because we fight as humans, and it's in our, and he said you don't have to be that way. There's a different way to live, and that's why the religion survives today. That is why Christianity's still around. It threatens their power. Christianity is a revolutionary idea, power from the state, and that's why the destruction of religions, um, the imprisonment of religious people and religious families who don't go along with the state. And it's really the same in many ways as it was back then. Um, some things have gotten better, but I would argue that besides technology, people nowadays are more lost than ever. You know, because it did happen. It is in history. It was written about. Uh, they might not agree with what the church is doing. I think that's a lot of it. That's a big part of it. Um, um, belief systems. Um, you know, there's several reasons. Maybe the people have had bad experiences with church. I think that's a big part of it. But things are not much different than they were back then. You had globalization. Look at who Matthew was. He was a bad guy. He Matthew, pay money for protection. That's who Matthew was. And so the idea that you can be forgiven no matter what you've done in your past was really a revolutionary idea, especially at the time. And the state didn't like it. The state did not like it, and they still don't like it. The state does not like to hear. And with our current time, redemption is never talked about. There's a lot of persecution, like there was back then. And it's the same today, man. It's the same today. I mean, things are not much different. You see today in politics, technology might be different, right? But people live a lot like they did back then. And so, um, you know, these ideas time to finally come around, and hopefully you have a teacher who teaches these things. The history is not taught. Um, I'm self-taught. You know, I taught myself a lot of these ideas. And through my spare time, I had a lot of alone time to think, and many people don't. Many people don't have that luxury. Only trying to do the hustle and the grind that is necessary. Revolutionary idea comes along, people reject it. That's their first instinct. That says, hey man, we need to forgive people. We need to losing their way. People are dying, and their soul is at risk. When somebody hears that, most of the time their first idea or their first instinct is to reject it. Is to reject it. Um, you know. But these ideas were revolutionary. Revolutionary idea. I mean, the idea that you should forgive your enemy. thousands of years, man has been fighting for thousands of years. This isn't new. Politics and war is not a new thing, right? Chaos is not new. What is revolutionary? What is new was what Jesus preached, right? That you should love thy enemy, right? That was a revolutionary idea, and it still is a revolutionary idea, and people don't like to talk about it because it threatens people's power. The people who run this world, the people who have power, and they don't like this because it's an idea that doesn't serve the institutions, right? In this video, man, I hope this reaches somebody. I know it won't reach most of you, but like Jesus said, man, listen to, if you actually read the New Testament, and I recommend everybody to read the New Testament, just read what Jesus said, okay? Don't take what I have to say. Don't listen to what I have to say. Get a King James Bible and just read some of what he says, man. And you take it the way you want to take it. You interpret it the way you want to interpret it. Say, don't listen to what the TV has to say. Because there's an angle there. There's an angle. There's a profit motive there. And you do need to make money. You do need to eat. That is a part of this world. But material wealth is not all there is. There's more out there than what you see. Right? There's more out there than what you just see and hear. Even the Old Testament, man. The Old Testament, King Solomon. Many people don't know the Old Testament. I do, though. But the Old Testament, King Saul, Solomon, David. These were the old prophets. Solomon had everything. He had everything. He had all the gold. He had all the riches. And that's an interesting story too. So I recommend anybody, because where this world is going, man, I don't know if these stories are going to be around forever. So I recommend people to really brush up on it. To be around, but they're around currently. So I would recommend reading these stories in your free time. And you'll realize that things were not that much different than they are today. All right, guys. Like, comment, share. Thank you.